We're less than 48 hours away now from the start of the semi-finals of the MLS's bag tournament on Wednesday. The Portland Timbers taking on Philadelphia Union, and then after that on the Thursday, Orlando City against Minnesota United. Let's go to our man in the bubble, shall we? Stefano Fusaro is with us. Stefano, two intriguing ties. I know you in particular have been focusing on the Orlando game.
Yeah, we have. Orlando City facing off against Minnesota United on ESPN. And look, I think a lot of people didn't have Orlando City in the semifinals of this tournament when it all kicked off a month ago. And I think a lot of that has to do with the attitude and the approach that they've taken to this tournament, because they understand that in 2020 it's a privilege to be able to play soccer. And the attitude that they've taken has really propelled them moving forward in this tournament.
I see a team playing fearless. I see a team playing without the fear to fail. And that is what it makes us better. In every area in our jobs, in our life. When you face your job with joy and fearless to fail, and then normally things come right, you know. So we're trying to learn, trying to see we can develop ourselves under that statement. We're playing with no fear.
Could be easy for us to say, oh man, we're in the bubble, we're away from our family, we're this or that, it's hot outside, or you could look at it as, man, we're in the semifinals of a big tournament, we're getting close to CONCACAF Champions League, we're scoring goals, we're having fun on the field, we're playing the game that we grew up loving, there's fans watching us, you know, so I think we've been focusing on all the positives and just loving the game the way we always have.
Now, on the other side of this tie with Minnesota United, you have their head coach, Adrian Heath, facing off against his former club in Orlando City. And I spoke to Robin Lod of that Minnesota United club, and he told me that they're pretty motivated to get this win for Adrian Heath, as he's obviously facing off against his former boys, who he actually said he's still to this day doesn't agree with Orlando City's decision to let him go. So there is a little bit of there's a chip on his shoulder there as he moves forward to this game.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I don't think many coaches have been sacked for saying, yeah, actually that was the right decision. Looking at those two, who will be the final lineup in your opinion?
Look, I think it's going to be two very interesting games. I do think that Minnesota United does have the edge against Orlando City, and it's just because of the way we've seen them play. They've been able to adapt every single game in this tournament to, even if they're not playing their best soccer, they have been able to get results from games. We've seen them play different styles from game to game, and I think that they have really shown to be the team that has been able to adapt the most here in the MLS's back tournament. So I have them going through in that tie, and on the other end with Philadelphia facing off against Portland. Look, I think that's going to be an even closer game. Portland has had the consistency, but Philadelphia has looked, in my opinion, as one of the better teams here as far as just organized and sticking to their game plan and trying to get their younger guys involved on the ball, and they've been able to do that. So I'm saying Philadelphia against Minnesota United in the final. I
mentioned it, at the top, you're almost there. Almost you get to go home soon, Steph. No, and it's interesting, you've written the article over on the website, and what's fascinating about it is kind of, I suppose, the personal level of the fact that you left your family, you left your young child, 6 months old. I tell you what, if that was me and I returned home, my wife would give me the kid and run out the door for 3 weeks and say, there you go, you're looking after this. Yeah. But what's interesting now, you can almost see it behind you, is this has almost gone full circle. You talk about the article when you first arrived, how quiet it is, and it's getting to that stage now with so many teams being eliminated.
Yeah, it really is interesting, just the different, I feel like I had to break that article down in week by week, because it really has changed almost every single week. Week one, not a lot of people here, but then came the positive test with FC Dallas and Nashville SC. Then we started to see players kind of just started to understand that these are the protocols that they need to follow if they want to continue to play in this tournament. And you've seen it all come to light. And now, as with only 4 teams left, the bubble has been actually shrunk in half. The other tower behind me has been closed off and open to the public, so we're now in a smaller space, but there's still not a lot of people here, but there is that excitement to get through this tournament, to get to a final and have a team lift the trophy. And as you mentioned before, my wife is pretty much going to leave as soon as I arrive. Maybe go stay at a hotel, and I'll have to take care of my daughter alone. So, but it's okay. She's deserved it.
And
so
you have
we're okay.
no argument. You have no leg to stand on whatsoever. How many times have you?
If I want to stay married, I can't have an argument.
Yeah. How many times have you had that thing shoved up your nose?
We are at 19 now.
Wow.
We'll probably be about 24 before we leave.
Hey, good.
But yeah, it's been good. Look, to keep us safe, I'm all for it.
Hey, fair play, mate. Fair play. Thank you very much for all the work that you have done. Just a reminder then, that semi-final is live on Thursday. An intriguing tie, Orlando City taking on Minnesota United. That game live on ESPN. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.